Welcome to this episode of the Leading Well podcast, hosted by Zach and Bowden. This podcast is an ongoing conversation to provide you with the practical tools, inspiring stories, to awaken the passions God has placed in you, to help you lead well, both in the church and in the community.
Hey, welcome to this month's Leading Well podcast. I'm excited to have this conversation with you. We're actually this month and the next 2 episodes coming out, we're going to do something a little bit different. I love how God has uniquely created all of us. He's given us all unique gifts and talents and passions and hearts, unique ways for us to see the world. And with all those things, they definitely have strengths, and they definitely have some things, some blind spots that come with those strengths as well. And so what I love to do, I'm going to ask a question. I would really love for you to sit and ponder and consider a little bit of who you are and what makes you you, and to be able just to enjoy how God has uniquely wired you. But also be aware, we all have blind spots in our lives, and how do we grow and become aware of those things so we could better serve and care and love people well, both in our families and our friends and our community and our workplaces, and in the life of our church. And so today, the question I would love to ask you is this: what drives you? What drives you? What's the reason you get up every day? What's the reasons how you spend your money the way you do? What are why are the things on your calendar? What do you get up and dream and think about your future? What are the things on your to-do list? And why are they there? We all have them, and sometimes it's easy to go through life and we get busy and we just do the things that we think we should be doing, but we don't necessarily always stop and go like, why do I do those things? And so today's question is this: what drives you? And so I'll share for me what drives me. And the nice thing is, again, we're all different and we're all unique, and how we all answer this question is very different. And so I'm going to share three things that I know that significantly drive me. These are the 3 things internally that drive me to be who I am, and I think how God has uniquely wired me. And so the first one, I would say what drives me is this: God's love. I'm very aware, without God in my life, how self-centered and how self-righteous and how selfish I can be in my life. I'm very aware, even on a constant basis in my life, those 3 things: my self-centeredness, my selfishness, and my self-righteousness. And without God continuing over and over and over and over and over and over again, giving me forgiveness, offering forgiveness, receive grace, and not shaming me, that I recognize how much He loves me. It's out of how much He loves me that I recognize. That's what compels me to do good. I know when I'm left to myself, I would rather take advantage of somebody rather than to do good towards them. And those are things that I'm continuing to recognize in my life, that how much I need God in my life every day, how much I need His love, so I am compelled to do good towards others. And so for me, I recognize how selfish and how self-righteous I am, that I need God in my life, and I need His love for me constantly every day. And when I recognize that, like, His love really does compel me to do good towards my family, to my friends, for the life of our church, to my community, that God's love compels me to do good. And that is a driving factor in my life. I think secondly, we all have this in some capacity, but for me, I'm very aware how strong these are, these desires, or these in my life. I'm going to put these 2 words together. My desire to maximize every moment of my life, and my desire inside of me for significance. And I'll explain these to you for a second. For me, a maximizer is a desire for me of wanting to maximize every moment in my life, to maximize to make it, to maximize every moment. Even a small example, when my wife and I and our kids moved here to Tucson, almost 5 years ago now, like we bought a house just a few minutes away because I wanted to maximize my time. I didn't want to be stuck in the car, either to get home quickly or to get to work quickly. I didn't want, to me, time in the car driving to work was a waste of time. I look for ways to maximize every moment of that I can. And so there's a sense of wanting to take advantage of, to use to the fullest. I try not to waste time as very much. And so I want to make a fulfillment of everything I possibly can to make a significant difference in the lives of people, in the life of our church, in the life of the relationships I'm a part of. Maximizing is a significant thing. Another part I would say is just a significance. Now, I don't necessarily mean significance in the sense like I need to make a name for myself, or I need a street named after me, or but what I do, I need to feel that it is a significant thing. Like it's worth. I know this is worth my time. I know this is worth my energy. I know this is worth the extra amount of things I might give up. This is worth the sacrifice. Well, I think we all have that in some capacity to us, but for me, I'm very aware. For me to do something, to be motivated, to be engaged, to help me drive to get things done, like I have to feel it in my gut before I do something. I have to do things just to check it off a list. Is like, ice is like putting cold water on a fire for me. Like I have to feel like this is a significant thing and we're making a significant difference, big or in just real small ways. And even working with people like this, you're making changes, and these are worth. It's significant moments. And so, what drives me is God's love. And I think the second thing I would say, this internal thing that inside of me that wants to maximize every moment of my life, and this sense of wanting my life to be significant. And the third thing I would share, I know what drives me, is a sense of hope, desire, of dreams for tomorrow. We would use this word in our office of being futuristic. I love thinking about tomorrow. I love thinking about what tomorrow look like, what next week, what's next month, next year, next 3 years, next 5 years, and drawing a really vivid picture out of what tomorrow is. And then to be able to back up and go like, okay, that's what we want to be, and that's what's how do we maximize, and how do we make this significant? Do I get significance out of it? And then let's backpedal and go, okay, what needs to happen today that actually gets us to where tomorrow looks like? And I know for me that's what drives me. If in times in my life where I don't feel like I know what tomorrow looks like, if I don't have a clear plan or a clear idea of what tomorrow means, I get sluggish. I get haphazard. I'm not motivated. I'm not engaged. And so for me, I need to know what tomorrow looks like, because that drives me to what I do today. And so it motivates me, keeps my eyes up out of the weeds, into what God has for me or for others or for us tomorrow. And so this sense of a futuristic, this idea of what tomorrow is, definitely motivates me and what drives me for what I do. So for me, God's love for me compels me. The sense of wanting to maximize and make my life be significant, and then the sense of dreaming about what tomorrow is. And I know with those things, I'm learning and continue to grow. Those have blind spots to me as well. I know my sense of a futuristic, like sometimes I could get so caught up in things about tomorrow that actually things that I should do today, I don't do, or I lose hope, or I downplay what's actually happening right now, and I miss moments that are right in front of me. I'm so caught up with what's happening tomorrow. Sometimes I could get so busy trying to maximize my time to get what tomorrow has, that I lose those moments, or things that I feel like aren't significant really are significant, but I might not feel those things that are significant today. And so I miss moments of value because I think I'm too caught up in what I think I should be doing. So just like all of us, we all, our strengths, we all have some blind spots or weaknesses that we're aware of, but we lean into how God has wired us and given us, but we definitely don't use those as excuses for what things we do or don't do. So I'd ask the question, what drives you? What gets you up? What do you do? Why do you spend the money on the things you spend money on? Why do you put things on the calendar that you put on the calendar? What drives you? And are those the things that are those things that you are excited that drive you? Is there a change of heart that you need? You need to grow in just your ability just to be aware of what drives you. What drives you to do the things you do? So with that, I would love to hear your things. I would love to hear your list of 2 or 3 things. I'd love for you to share those things that drive you. And I think the cool thing is that God has wired us all so differently. And so I could give you my list of top 5 things or 10 things that drive me. And it'll be different than yours. And I think the reality, we'll all have a very unique things that drive us to do why we do what we do. So share with me what drives you. Find me at church. Email me, Zachi at newlifetucson.com, and share the things that drive you. So with that, that's this week's Leading Well podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Leading Well podcast. Let us know your thoughts by leaving your review. Be sure to subscribe and share these episodes through iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. You can also connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, continue to look for ways to unleash your leadership potential to make a difference.